Okay, hi everyone. I am Jiayin Wang, and I just finished my master program at Oxford in maritime archaeology. So today I'm going to make a presentation entitled Modeling Prehistoric Coastlines, Submerged Landscapes in the South and East China Sea. And before I start my presentation, it's important to note that first, it's not possible to cover everything, to cover all the content under this huge title, so I'll only concentrate on the East China Sea and more specifically the Yangtze River Delta. And also because the study of submerged landscapes would rely on advanced technologies and systematic underwater surveys and investigations. So and unfortunately, none of these investigations or surveys have been conducted in this area. So I will only use the public available bathymetry data and archaeological findings to make a plausible deduction of the prehistoric scenario of this place. So that's it. Okay, so this is the content of my presentation. Basically, it started with a background and then the shoreline reconstruction, and then some materials from Neolithic coastal settlements and a case study of a specific crisis, a collapse of a specific site in coastal region, and then I'll draw my conclusion. So first, let's start with the background of submerged landscapes. This is a map of the world at 12,000 years before present. And we can see all the areas marked with red represent the exposed continental shelves. For example, we have the famous Doggerland here in the North Sea, and also the Beringia area. So, and basically along all the coasts, here we can see on the map, there are some continental shelves extended from the coast. So when the sea level was significantly lower than present, it's very reasonable that people would occupy these places and exploit the marine resources, and also use this place as gateway to travel or disperse to new areas, new continents, or new areas. That's why we would study the submerged landscapes. However, if we would like to know the exact correspondence between the age and the location of paleo coastline, we need to make a corresponding curve. So here we can see a depth and age relationship chart made based on far-field coral and sediment data by Landmark et al. In 2014. And this is widely used in the study of submerged landscapes at present. So from this curve, it can be seen that the continuous sea level rise started at around 16,500 years before present and stopped at around 7,000 years before present. So basically, after 7,000 years BP, the sea level remained at a constant level that is basically the present level. But actually, there are still some little fluctuations happened in this during this period, and this would cause some significant impact on the coastal settlements during this period. So we will talk about this later. However, this curve is only a general global scale curve, and because of the impact of regional current, regional climate, and the topographical settings, in each different region, we need a specific, we need to analyze the specific sediment cores to clarify the sea level change curve in that region. For example, this chart summarize the several there are several curves that, except the red one, which is the global one in the previous slide, the others are all sea level change curves that are generated by settlements in the East China Sea, but they are based on different methods and different settlement course. So even in the same region, if the scientists use different methods, they would have curves that vary significantly. However, from all these curves, we can give a general pattern of this region is that between 7,000 and 4,000 years before present, the fluctuation of sea level is most intense, and the peak of the sea level rise is around 4 meters above the present level. And by using this curve, these general patterns of East China Sea, and I generate the possible paleo coastline maps of East China Sea by using the JAPCO 2021 global bathymetry data. So here in this map, we have here we have 4 maps, and each of them represent the location of paleo coastline when the sea level was at different depths. So for example, this is when sea level was 30 meters below present, and this is 50 meters, and this is 8 meters. So because we can see we can see from the previous slide that there's not a accurate age and depth correspondent line. So it's really hard to align these 4 maps to specific time period. However, we can, so here I give some approximate time ranges for this maps. So first, when the sea level was around 80 meters below present, we can I would say that this period was around 13,000 years before present, and this was around 11 to 10,000 before present, and this was around 9,000 before present. And basically, all the coastal settlements found along the east coast of China were younger than 7,000 to 8,000 years old. So it's hard to find some settlements or archaeological findings that can fit these 3 maps. But by analyzing the 3 maps, we can see that the exposed continental shelves are shrinking significantly in different time periods. So if there were people occupied these regions at this time, then their settlements, their shell medians or the habitants will absolutely be flooded by the rising sea level from 13,000 years before present to 9,000 years before present. And next, if we narrow down our focus to the Yangtze River Delta, and if we would take, so from 7,000 to 4,000 BP, we can see that the sea level rises and rise to some level above present level. So here we can see there are significant difference between the 4 maps that showing sea levels at different elevations. So from here, from this map to this one, when the sea level rises from 1 meter above present to 3 meters above present, we can see so first, this area north of the Yangtze River was entirely flooded, and also this area east of the Taihu Lake was basically entirely connected to the sea by the extensive river connections. And because of these sea transgression, the archaeological cultures in this time range from 7,000 to 4,000 BP showed significantly different settlement patterns. So here we can see the map of the three continuous archaeological cultures in this region. So this is a chronology of the three archaeological cultures in Taihu Lake region from 7,000 to 4,000 BP. First is Majabang culture, and then Songze culture, and then finally Liangzhu culture. So by analyzing the location of the sites of the cultures, we can find that the archaeological sites of in middle and late periods of Songze culture tend to locate it at higher lands, like on mountains or little hills, because the sea transgression intensified at around 5,500 years BP. So to avoid the impact of the rising sea water, Songze people chose to move upwards. And then at the beginning of Liangzhu culture, the people maintained this choice. However, in middle and later Liangzhu period, the sites moved downwards to the plains because the sea level retreated back to the present sea level. So from this choice, so by analyzing the choice, the strategy of choosing location of their sites, we can see how the sea level rise and retreat influenced the archaeological cultures. And beside the coastal settlements, we can the shell middens are also an important information resource of the paleo coastline location. However, from this map, we can see the distribution of coastal shell middens in China. So basically, all the shell midden sites confined to the southern coast and northeast Bohai Bay here coast. And the age of those sites are roughly earlier or at 6,000 to 7,000 BP. Basically, no coastal shell midden sites have been found along the East China coast. However, recently we have found a newly found site in the Yangtze River Delta, the Jingtoushan site. What's proved to be a shell midden site. It is the first shell midden site found on the east coast of China, and dated back to 8,300 to 7,800 BP. And there are many wooden artifacts found in this site, like the wooden paddles and the fish basket. So the existence of these wooden artifacts could suggest that the Jingtoushan people have mastered the ability to exploit sea resources, and also to conduct efficient seafaring. So given the existence of this shell midden, we can expect that more sites like Jingtoushan would be found in the near continental shelves, like in this area in the future underwater. So that would provide a much more holistic scenario of earlier coastal people lives. And then I would like to give a case study of the how the sea level, how the paleoclimate change would influence the coastal settlements. This is the Kuahuqiao site. It can so from this site, the archaeologists found the earliest log boat in China. So here, this is the photo of the finding. And it's not only the log boat, but also the wooden paddles and some raw materials that can use to make and repair the log boat. So it is believed that this site it was actually a workshop of log boat that can use to craft and repair the ships, the boats. So given a archaeological site that where the people have mastered the ability to conduct efficient sea routes, to conduct efficient seafaring, the site just rapidly fell at around 7,600 years before present. So because this site emerged at around 8,000 years before present, when the sea level was still rising. Then the rising sea level and the monsoon in East Asia, all the factors caused a severe overbank flooding tidal wars here in the Hangzhou Bay, which finally caused the catastrophic collapse of the Kuahuqiao site. So from this case, we can see that even for the archaeological cultures which have advanced ability of exploiting aquatic resources, they are still very vulnerable to the sea level change and ancient climate changes. So finally, we can draw some primary conclusion that so first, sea level rise since the end of Pleistocene has influenced the continental shelves of the East and South China Seas, and the shell meeting sites or other settlement sites found along the present coastline were basically dated from relatively recent times, and most belonging to settlements that emerged after the sea level reached modern heights. So we can only expect earlier sites from the continental shelf areas, which was buried underwater at present. And also and then between 7,000 and 4,000 years ago, when the sea level still fluctuated by several meters, and this several meters really matters. So in uncertified data, this sea level fluctuation affected the environment of the plain, which further affected the settlement choosing strategy of the ancient people. They need to find the suitable location for their settlements. And finally, extreme climate events caused by the sea level changes, the climate changes would brought some catastrophic impact on prehistoric settlements. So that's how that's how we can learn from the paleo coastline and the paleoclimate, impacts. So that's my presentation. Thank you, and my bibliography. Thank you.